All right, welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you had a wonderful weekend. Spent some time with family. Chilled out a little bit, got a little rest and relaxation. That's what the weekends are all about. We got a couple people tuned in here. I'm gonna just put on some tunes here for a little bit. Let's see, get this thing going. What's up, guys? All right, new week. Get some hype in the chat for the new week. We had a bit of a pullback last week. No engulfing candle, meaning this candle is still in play. We're towards the top of a range. We did touch the $25,000 region and pull back from it a little bit, right? All right. So what does this week bring? Well, I think we're going to probably go at least to touch and test 24,250, all right, right around this candle open here, all right? If we can't get above 24,250 and we make a lower high, well, you guys know what we could do. We could come down and test the bottom of the range, 21.7. That's a possibility, right? It's not out of the cards. If we can't produce a higher high on price, then we will come down and test the bottom of the ranges, right? But to me, this just looks like maybe a consolidation here. I'm not really too concerned with the price action here, all right? We do have, weekly momentum, shifting maybe back down here on the weekly regular candles. HA candles also showing the same. So we could, like I said, we could see movement back down to test the bottom of the range, or even to test the weekly 21 EMA, which is right around that 21.2, right? Cycle repaint chart is saying up. We'll get to that here in a second, but looking at momentum on the weekly chart, we can see that it either could go sideways here, consolidate here, or retest the bottom of this range. The daily is, the shorter time scales actually look okay. We got a nice reset, right? So that's what I'm saying. I think we can go up to test the top of the range again. The $24,500 region. It looks like we could go do within the next day or so. All right. Depending on how the price action holds up there, if we can actually get a break above and make a higher high on price without really putting in some bearish divergence, then we can talk about higher prices, right? So going to depend on how the price action goes this week. Going to depend on the equities market, going to depend on a lot of things like the DXY, of course. We'll look at tether chart here in a minute. But daily chart doesn't look too terrible. If we can round out the negative momentum here, we could actually then look for that bullish divergence forming on the daily chart. Right, hasn't matured just yet. MACD is above zero. We are in the bullish zone on the daily chart. All right, so we're just looking for that. Right. We'll look at the S&P here real fast while we're at it. S&P holding a nice long-term channel up. Right, beautiful respect along the trend lines here. All right, we even held the 200-week moving average. Perfect. That's what we want to see for an uptrend to continue. The only concern I do have here on the weekly is that the stochastics on the weekly chart are pointing down here. All right, so we could be looking at some momentum shift to the downside on the weekly chart, but daily looks like it did get a reset. We could see the daily maybe start to reverse its trend here on the daily, right? We'll see how this opens here tomorrow. It could hold this area as support to try to rally up again, right? So we'll see how this goes. It's trying to maybe reverse its trend here, okay? All right, so something to pay attention to. We did get a rejection. We did get rejection here at the median trend line. We got this big dump right after that test, and we made a higher high here. We made a higher low. We made technically a higher high than this high. Very close though, right? So now we're trying to see if we can put a higher low in than this low. If we do that, if we put the higher low in here, I do suspect us to test the top of the range. Yeah, I mean the equities market doesn't look too hot like I'm talking about here, but we'll see how this goes. We do have some 4 hour bull div that could play out. That could maybe push the market a bit higher. 4 hour isn't the biggest time scale, but this does start off on the smaller time scales, right? So the 4 hour with the 4 hour bull div down here, we'll see if this plays out on the S&P. We'll check out gold here. So gold. Putting in a nasty rejection candle here on the monthly chart. But I would say we got some price action left this week, man. This week is a big week for gold also, right? Weekly chart, short already in. So the short played out. We'll see if we hold this area as support. All right, this is the 50-week moving average here for gold, and looks like it's just range bound, right? It's just sitting in this range, just been sitting in this range for the better part of the year or 2 years, just consolidating up here. All right, definitely making a lower high for right now up here, right? So gold, I mean, if we don't make a higher or low here, if this support doesn't hold, we could see gold come back down to test the bottom of this range eventually, if this area doesn't hold. All right. The bond market looking strong with higher rates. I believe the dollar will continue upward. What's going on, everybody? We got 11 people on. Thank you guys for joining the stream tonight. Appreciate all you guys' viewership and support. All right. All right, so we'll look at Tether real fast. So Tether coming up to the top of this range here and putting in a lower high on the 12-hour. Look at the 12-hour because that'll give me at least a clue, at least for the next couple, maybe the next day or so, right? And yeah, putting in a lower high, looks like a rising wedge on the 12-hour chart. We got this breakdown here. We did see assets go up a little bit today, right? We do have a 12-hour short signal in here on Tether. Okay, so that could mean over the course of the next 12 hours, we will see Tether kind of pull back, and I think that will coincide with Bitcoin and crypto assets going up, all right, over the next 12 to 16 hours. Right, so maybe by tomorrow, we'll see Bitcoin testing that 24,250 region like we're talking about, all right? A break of 24,250 puts us back in that $25,000 region. Which is what we want to see. We want to see the 200-week moving average get tested and broken above. If we can make a closure above the 200-week moving average, guys, that's a really bullish sign. All right. So there's going to be lots of selling pressure up there. There's going to be lots of people shorting right there because it is such a strong area of resistance. Right. It's a major level. All right. Cool. We'll keep you guys peeled on that. Keep you guys tuned in with that. We'll look at, I guess we looked at S&P, Bitcoin. We'll look at ETH here. ETH also kind of the same thing, right? So ETH also in this channel here and holding in the channel for now, right? A bit of rejection off the median trend line here for ETH. I guess depending on how you draw this, like we're still at resistance right now, the 12-hour chart, right? But you can see the 200-day moving average is being held as support, guys. All right, we've flipped the 200-day as support for ETH. We haven't really done that. Even here, we didn't do that. This was like a fake out rally, right? We haven't flipped the 200-day as support basically since May of 2020 on ETH. So something to take note of, right? Pay attention to that. If you notice we start breaking the 200-day moving average, then we got issues for sure. Then we can for sure see lower prices. But for now, we can see the 200-day moving average is acting as support here, and that to me is actually a bullish sign. And we can also see that here on the RSI. We can see the higher low on the RSI being made, rejecting neutral territory, rejecting the bearish control zone, right? The bearish control zone on the RSI is anything below 40, and we've done nothing but make higher lows on the RSI, all right? We can go sideways. We can do a bunch of nothing. But as long as we're staying above neutral and above, I would say above 45 on the RSI, I would say that the asset, I would say on the daily, is leaning towards the bullish side, not the bearish side, okay? Right? And this right here, you can see this was like the back test of this break. So we broke out. Now we back tested this trend line on the RSI, and we just made a higher low, right? This could be the double bottom, right? On the daily chart. Hasn't a death cross played out on BTC, or it's about to? You're talking about on the weekly time scale, right? You're talking about the weekly death cross. Everyone's talking about the weekly death cross. So the weekly death cross actually happened, yeah. All right, and we've never had a weekly death cross happen on BTC. But basically, when you get death crosses, those usually signal bottoming formations. We usually get them on like the 3-day time scale. We had a 3-day death cross here. And this was the bottom of the market, right? So we had a 3-day death cross back in 2018. We had a 3-day death cross back here in 2015. This was the bottom of the market. And we had the 3-day death cross here. And so we thought this was the bottom in June, but we just made a slightly lower low, right? So we've never actually had a weekly death cross. But yeah, moving averages are lagging indicators, especially on longer time scales like the weekly chart. So like the 3-day is something you want to pay attention to, I would say. There's really never any fake outs on the 3-day chart. So like I said, get above 25.3K, the top of the range for Bitcoin. This area right here, this $27,000 region on the 3-day, that's the 300-day or the 3-day 200 week or 300, or excuse me, the 3-day 200-day moving average. All right, that's pretty significant to get back above, right? Every single time we got back above it, you guys can see we went into a major move up. So that's the area to reclaim for Bitcoin, $27,700. All right. If we can reclaim $27,700, I would suspect that we see some nice upside. Okay. Until then, we can go sideways. We can consolidate below these levels. We can do a bunch of nothing down here. We could even retest the lows, right? All that stuff is totally plausible and can happen. All right. So fireworks IMO above $27,700. And if we continue to get rejection here, we'll just continue to test supports, right? And if we continue to make higher lows on the supports, well, we're going to try to maybe consolidate and build up that momentum to test again the resistance, right? Higher lows equal pushes back to the upside in testing the resistance. And the more times you test the resistance, the more likely it is to break it, right? So if we don't break the lows, guys, and we're making higher lows, that means the buyers continue to push their bids higher, right? They're trying to take the market up, not down, right? Remember that. This to me looks like a flip, okay? It looks like a flip happening here. And to me, this is a bullish sign, not a bearish sign. And I would tell you if I thought this really didn't look so good. I think it looks actually good for Bitcoin, right? Can we come back down to test a little bit further? Sure. $22,000 region totally is possible. Even if we break this, if we break the daily 200 moving average, that to me just means this whole move is a fake out rally. All right. All bets are off if we break below $21,700. That's what I would say. We get candle closes below this, and then we back test the 21.7 range as resistance. We're gonna make new lows if we do that. If we do this, and we bounce here and we back test this area as resistance, we're gonna probably come down. Okay. We're not showing signs of that right now. We're showing signs of momentum shifting here. All right, we have a 12-hour long signal that's in. All right, this means we could come up to test this again. All right, now this is a very strong resistance area. We're going to need to see lots of buying pressure come in here for this to push up. All right, lots of short squeezing going on to push this up. Whatever they need to do to push the price up, they'll probably do. Whales control this market. Remember that, guys. Not us retail guys. All right. Anyways, I've said enough about Bitcoin and what I think it might do. I think we're going to go and try to push higher as we made this higher low here. All right. Same goes for the rest of the market, right? Everything follows Bitcoin. Let me change the song. It's getting on my nerves. Cool. Let me know your guys' thoughts, opinions, what you guys think. Wow, we have 20 people on tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream tonight. Appreciate all your guys' viewership and support. Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. You guys know the drill. Take the notification bell to get all the updates here at Swing Trade Pros. Just drop some feedback in the chat what you guys think about what the market's going to do. What did you guys think of my analysis? We're going to take a look at the cycle chart. We're going to look at the fear and greed index here. Fear and greed index is neutral, right? So no real edge here with this, right? Neutral. Cycle chart says up, okay? Now the cycle chart's been, I'd say, pretty good for the most part in terms of timing of the market. I wouldn't say it's gotten the prices accurate, like it's calling for a $382,000 top in the end of 2025. I don't think we're going to get that high, personally. I think we might see $120,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin by end of 2025, but who knows? I could be wrong also, right? But in terms of timing of the tops and bottoms, it's got the timing down pretty well. I will say that. Nupal chart coming out of the capitulation zone, right? We were talking about buying Bitcoin and crypto assets when we were in this red zone. We were not in this red zone for very long when we do get these bottoms, okay? So, man, we're just coming out of now we're out of the red zone into the orange zone, okay? After we enter the orange zone, we go back into the green zone. Right, and when we go into the green zone, that's when your grandma or your friends are going to probably want to be buying Bitcoin, and we could be getting close to some sort of top or close to getting some sort of top there. All right, just remember that this market works off of lots of psychology and lots of fear and greed. All right, cool. So Nupal chart doesn't really tell us to sell stuff right now. It really is just telling us to accumulate based on the fear and greed, right? We're in the hope stage right now. We're in the hope stage. Okay. So that's fear and greed, cycle chart, and Nupal chart. Got them all. Again, towards the top of a range, people are going to want to be shorting up here. But what they don't realize is we flipped the daily 200-day moving average as support. So we're going to, we could come, like I said, we could come down to the bottom of the channel and test the bottom of the channel. All right, you guys know what's happening here. Above 27.7, I think we can see some big upside, all right? At least up to 30K. All right, we have these levels right here. It's really not a complicated thing to see what the range is here for this. We have a range right here. We break back into this range. $40,000 is really our target once we break back above this range. All right. Oil and natural gas, China, Russia, no problem. I mean, I'm not really paying attention to news. I just look at charts. So that's all I look at. I don't talk about news on this channel ever. So why should I start now? You can look at oil, sure. Oil looks like it's going to break up, right? It's been making higher lows down here. It had a nice pull. It had a nice pullback here. The 12-hour is signaling to me we got 12-hour bullish divergence on oil. We have a low and a higher low on the RSI with a low and roughly the same low on price. So not really, I guess it's not really too much divergence, but maybe making double bottom type of stuff here, okay? Yes, you do have this resistance line you're looking at here on oil, and you can see that it's just consolidating in this range, right? And back tested this 70 range as support. Let's see, actually, on the larger time scales, what's going on. Yeah, sitting on a major 3-day support. All right, so you could see some buy pressure come in here to push it back up to about 83. That would be your next real major level, your next probably real major resistance level with that 3-day moving average there. I think that's a good spot for it. You've got some daily resistance around 70, 78. We'll check out SoloGenX. We'll check out Natural Gas, Matic, and Sol DXY. We'll check them out. How's it going, the Crypto Clan? DXY, 12-hour overbought, right? Sitting at 76 on the RSI. Daily chart bullish, 71. Hasn't really rallied. I mean, yeah, it bounced off this major support level. And is looking to did actually make a closure back above the daily 200 moving average for the DXY. All right, so I guess that is something to pay attention to on the daily chart. The weekly chart back above the 21. So pivoting off this low, obviously probably showing that bullish divergence because you made a higher high on price and a higher low on a higher low on price down here with negative momentum. So you're going to be naturally bullishly diverging there for the DXY. But look at your Stokes on the weekly. Yeah, they're poised on the weekly right here. And we do have some separation on the weekly chart. The 3-day chart is looking kind of toppy on the 3-day, or 4-day rather. 3-day also topped out on the Stokes. We'll see how this plays out for the DXY. We are about to get a weekly cross up here on negative momentum, so this could have an impact on Bitcoin price. We'll see how this plays out. Coming up to some 4-hour resistance right here for the DXY. Yeah, I mean, DXY can go up a bit. That's what it's saying. Monthly chart. Monthly bouncing at 56. So monthly bouncing in bullish control zone. And sitting at a monthly support. All right. With smaller time scales showing us that we're getting a nice bounce here off this support level. We'll see what it does when it gets up to this 105 or like 106 region, okay? It could do something like this where it comes up and then maybe comes back down. That's where we could see if it makes a double bottom or if it breaks this support, right? We're just getting a nice strong bounce off this level for the DXY, right? Again, it's implying more upside on the DXY. It is. We're implying some upside on the DXY. All right, we have a 3-week signal, a 2-week signal that's in already. The weekly already showing us some of that movement's already happened. So maybe we just go to the 3-day chart. 3-day chart looking bullish, 53 on the RSI. Daily chart we already talked about or spoke about that it's already in the bullish control zone, but shorter time scales looking overbought, like the 12-hour already showing some overbought scenarios here. So we could see the DXY pull back a bit, maybe just stay in bullish territory, right? We'll see how this goes. All right. Look at natural gas. Natural gas is pretty wrecked. I would say that this is probably going to bounce here. Coming down to a major support level, this 2.13 region. And you could see, I would say you could definitely see a retracement back up, at least to the 618, right? At least to back 316, 317 area, just to back test this level. You know, you're really oversold. This to me is definitely most likely going to go back up for a bit. You know, I don't know how strong this is going to be, but I would say at least come back up to test this region up to $4, all right? Or maybe even revert back to the moving average. The major moving average is $5, okay, in time after this reversal takes place, because, you know, oversold conditions here definitely going to mean some upside, all right? Let's see what else. Matic, Sol, and Sologenic. Let's take a look at them. Matic doing the 618 retracement from the swing high to swing low, getting the reversal here. Not something out of the ordinary at all. Right? So where is Matic going to go, right? Buck 13 for Matic wouldn't be out of the cards. That would be a retest of this 50% retracement level. And this level right here, buck 20 area, I guess you could say, for Matic. Let's go to the weekly chart. So still in bullish territory on the weekly. Not extended really, just getting a nice retracement right after that. 61.8% retracement area. We do have a weekly sell that's in on it. So we could see some more downside for Matic. And a retest of the median trend line here about this buck, like I said before, buck 13 area. So this area right here, this buck 20 area, is acting as support right now. We could get maybe one more attempt of a push up to a lower high maybe, and then come back down to test this support again. All right, so look for that lower high. We're looking to short this market. All right, that's Matic. Yep, it has outperformed. Yep. We'll look at. So you guys want to look at Solana, so we'll take a look at that. would say that this is pretty close to what it's doing. So this is a descending broadening formation. These typically do break up. All right. And if this low is being held and we're talking about a partial decline from here, watch for this double bottom. This could maybe try to break. Okay. It could try to break. That's if Bitcoin continues to consolidate and not, really get wrecked. So paying attention to that is key. We are below the daily 200-day moving average. If Solana ever retakes $30 or $28 as support, we could see some fireworks with Solana. All right, but we haven't done that yet, and we're sitting right at a Fibonacci level here anyway. So we'll see how this plays out. The 3-day chart. Let's take a look at it. And the weekly. Well, the weekly has room to consolidate and or run. It's sitting neutral at 44 on the weekly. So we attempted a rally above $26, right, and wasn't able to get above it. So your bottom of the range here on Solana is $21, $21.50, right? Just looking at candle body structures here on the weekly chart. And that's really it. It could just trade in this range until it breaks one of them, all right? We do have a 12-hour long that's in. We don't know what kind of move that's going to produce. It could just produce a lower high, could just produce us to test, 25.50, get rejected, and then come back down, right? So we'll see what this produces for us in the next 8 to 12 hours. All right. Cool. That's Solana. We'll take a look at Sologenics. That was requested. We'll take a look at that. So yeah, just consolidating down at this major support at 14-15 cent region. Not really too much going on with this coin. It's just kind of sitting down here. The weekly RSI is still sitting technically in bearish control zone at 30.38 on the RSI. So not really too much happening with this asset, unfortunately. All right. Your stochastics are still kind of down here, but poised up. Momentum slowly building up. We did have a weekly sell signal that was in that kind of looks like it sort of played out. We didn't really see too much movement. Now on the 3-day chart, we're printing a long signal, so we could be maybe looking to see some movement up. We'll see. Really depends on what Bitcoin's going to do, but I think we're going to see a push up before we see maybe a rejection. So we'll see how that goes. We looked at Matic. Let me know if you guys have any other comments or you guys have any other tickers you guys want me to look at. Watch DYDX. This one's actually performing really, really well. Even during this movement down we had, it's just been making higher lows and just consolidating in this range here. We're getting pretty close to a break on this structure, so we'll see if we actually can do it. The 12-hour momentum is poised for upside here as well, so this is something to pay attention to. I think this asset is definitely outperforming the rest of these assets. Sure, ADA, Theta, and VeChain. We'll take a look at them. ADA not able to get above 42 cents, which is the daily 200 moving average. You can't really be bullish until it gets above there, man. Like 42 to 43 cents, I would say you got to capture that to go back into an uptrend, all right? So until then, yeah, you're making higher lows right here. You're consolidating in this range, which is great. And yes, you did break, I believe you broke a major resistance here or a major trend line here. And, this is probably some sort of wedge structure, which is great. We want to see this either consolidate at higher lows and then eventually break above 43 cents. We want to see that happen. All right. So far, it hasn't been able to do that. And yep, bouncing off 40 is a good sign. That means you're rejecting bearish control zone, which is a good sign. All right. But the daily looks fine in terms of the RSI and what it's doing. We're starting to show some sort of maybe daily bullish divergence here on the MACD oscillator. Hasn't matured just yet, but you're sitting above zero on the MACD, so nothing bad to really say about it until it starts breaking those lows, right? Just consolidating below the daily 200 moving average. So good things can happen above 43 cents for ADA. Until then, can consolidate, do a bunch of nothing, maybe even get a retest. That's it. All right. But I did say you are starting to show some bull div on the daily. So that could be implying some movement ups here in the coming days. All right. Really depends on what Bitcoin does and how it holds up. All right. So Theta and VeChain. Theta has reclaimed the daily 200 moving average, so that's a bullish sign, right? We could definitely see Theta test up the top of the range again. $1.30, why not? This is also a major structure that it broke out of, right? Broke out of this structure here. And yeah, another wedge formation that we know it broke out of. So the next real range up, if it does break above $1.30, we're looking at $1.67. Okay, that is probably a major resistance level for it once it breaks above $1.30. All right, I would say that's where you're headed if you break it. Sure. YFI and VeChain. We'll take a look at them. VeChain also reclaiming the daily 200 moving average and making a higher low, which looks like a higher low here. All right. Again, could consolidate or maybe make an attempted rally, maybe attempt to break this high. Okay. Inherently, when you make a higher high on price and you come down and make a higher low, you're already making that hidden bullish divergence. Okay. You're making it for sure. It hasn't matured yet. It hasn't done anything just yet, but it's starting to show. Okay. Like I would say the 12-hour chart probably really showing it, right? Yeah, so you're starting to show the 12-hour hidden bullish divergence here on this asset. And this is implying a move back up, right? So it really depends on how bullish this market really is, all right? How bullish is this market? We're about to find out. If it's really bullish, then they'll probably try to take this thing back up and test this resistance again. And it may not break it right away, right? Remember, the more times you test a resistance, the more likely it is to break it. You came back down to support, bounced off this support. You're probably going to get a move back up. Where we end up going is up to the market. I don't know where it's exactly going to go, but most likely it probably comes back up to test this again, right? And it could just be a failed attempt and just could come back down to test the support again and just range bound for a while before it actually breaks it, all right? But it may not do anything, right? So just stay patient if you're in these trades, all right, long term. I think some of them long term are making momentum shifts, and it could take some time to break those levels, right? So, but yeah, this was a major break, right? You broke it. And yeah, this level of inflection at 3.3 cents for VeChain is a pretty strong level to break, all right? Definitely wasn't going to break it on the first try. It may not break it on the second try, right? It might take a third attempt or a fourth attempt to break it, right? So that's kind of where we're at, guys. A lot of these major resistance areas are going to be resistance areas for some time before the asset has enough strength to break it, right? It might need to bounce around for a while and coil itself up to do it. Okay. So just understand that, you're gonna have to be patient in some of these swing trades. You're gonna have to be patient in some of these assets if you're holding them long term. Yeah. So I think something like that is totally possible. All right. For VeChain. YFI, we'll take a look at. All right, YFI making nice movements here, right? Broke this major resistance. This looks like it was in also some sort of big structure here that it broke, right? This looked like a double bottom. You have a bottom here with a higher low. That's an Adam and Eve double bottom. So the double bottom, you guys know, from the bottom to this neckline is actually a major move, right? It could actually rally all the way up to about $13,750 or close to it. All right. And that's where it could go before maybe it actually pulls back and uses this area as support before getting to getting to new price into price discovery or close to those areas. All right, you might want to use some Fibonacci levels as well, just to have an understanding of where it might go. And yeah, this 3-2 fib extension right here is looking pretty good. I mean, you're in an area right here where you have probably lots of sellers because this is a resistance area here, this order block. But yeah, so just watch out. I mean, you're probably already starting to show some exhaustion on lower time scales. Yeah, you're already showing that, that bearish divergence here on the 12-hour for this asset. So you could get some pullbacks on this. This had a nice run up. But yeah, it could just consolidate up here. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bearish at all. It just looks like it's exhausted and might need a break, right? You're above the daily 200-day moving average. You could pull back here. And yeah, it could just do something like this where it comes back down to retest this, resets oscillator, and then send it into 12,000 to test the 12,000 region, all right? It could just reverse right here, right? If Bitcoin reverses too. So just pay attention to that. Looking pretty good for Wi-Fi. Let's go to the monthly chart on that. Let's see what that looks like. Monthly looking great, man. You're just starting to show signs of reversal here. You have a monthly long that's in, and you're getting some momentum shifting down here, man. This is looking pretty great long term. Looks good, man. Looks good. You even have nice separation here on your ADX. That's good. Good sign for YFI. You even have 2-week volatility maybe coming in to push you up higher to come through next couple weeks here. Yeah, you're coming into the 2-week 21 EMA, so that could act as a bit of a resistance like it's doing right here. But look at how strong of a candle you put in last 2 weeks, man. That's a bullish, very bullish candle. We could see this pull back to, 8,600. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't take this candle out. It would just be a pullback, right? So just pay attention. You are in a range here too, right? You are in this range. Okay. So breaking above, 11,300, you're looking to go back up to 17.8 potentially, or even this Fibonacci level here around 15K. All right, so not really much there once you break above it. All right. Lost a lot of viewers already. I guess my content's very boring. I apologize about that. All right. That's really it. I think if you guys have anything else, man, make sure you guys shoot them in the chat, all right? I was looking at INJ before because it is close to a major resistance inflection zone here, and I wanted to see where this thing was going. So yeah, we could have a bit of a pullback at this region. We'll see. We closed a nice 2-week candle on it. I mean, yeah, the candle did get a bit of rejection up here, right? You can see this wick, this long wick. technically closing above the 50% retracement level, and did make a higher high on price, right? We'll see. We could get a back test of this area here. We could get a reversal here. We could get all sorts of stuff to come in here. None of this would shock me at all. This coin has gone on a major run. We see the weekly sell signal that's in on it. So yeah, this could see some pullback. All right. And this very well could do something like this where it comes back down to test 270s and makes a higher low and then runs again to the 618. Did I go over Filecoin? I did not. I will. I'll check that out. Filecoin looked good on the 4 hour before. Yeah, holding its parabolic trend after that breakout. And just kind of sitting here, right? Just kind of sitting and consolidating along this trend line here that I drew. We'll see how this goes. This looked pretty good for a bit. The 12 hour was giving me a long signal here. So we'll see if this can actually rip back above, that 7 1/4 region. That's a Fibonacci level. All right. So far, it looks okay. It's just sitting below the parabolic trend that I drew. Total 2 and 3. We'll take a look at them. Yeah, sure. Your first green bullish candle on the monthly chart. I mean, stochastics starting to tick up here on the monthly. Doesn't become a real signal until you get above 20, I would say. But you're starting to show signs of a reversal there. I'm going to set an alert for total 2 on the monthly. And yeah, we did get a monthly long signal that came in, back in September, early, but hey man, I mean, we got this rounding action. We could see some more upside. We could see 680 billion tested at some point. That's a major moving average there. And once you get above that, you can see we went on a major run every single time we do get above that. We could be in this move right here, like in 2019, where we come up to this, maybe the equilibrium area and we get rejected. And then we come back down and maybe make a higher low, and then we go, right? We could be doing something like that right now. It could be in that move. So we'll see how that goes, but I think we're doing something similar to maybe this move here. We did get a bit of a deeper retrace than we did here on the last cycle. But I would say on the monthly chart, we're obviously showing that massive amounts of hidden bullish divergence, right? From that swing low, right? This is a massive amount of divergence being shown here on the monthly. This is implying a major move up, okay? This could take months to mature as well. Months and months and months to mature. This is a monthly chart, okay? We're talking about 3 to 6 months for this to play out. But yeah, this could take some time to play out, but you can clearly see that from this low, this was the low I think that I just plotted that from, right? Yeah, this low right here, right? We've made a lower low on the negative. We've made a lower low on momentum, but a higher low on the price. That, to me, is a major hidden bullish divergence on the monthly time scale, okay? And that might take some time to mature, but to me, it looks like implied price action is back to the upside over the coming months, all right? So don't get discouraged about the day-to-day price action or even the price action within the next week or two. We could see some downside next week or two. We're just looking at that. We'll see how it plays out. But we're going to go to the Tether chart now. The Tether chart on the 12 hour is telling us we could see some downside for Tether, which could mean some upside for the market. So shorter term here, we could see some upside. This making a lower high and making a lower high right at a major inflection point, which is this major trend line here that the channel is drawn from, okay? And if this is actually going to reject here, we're going to see Tether break this bear flag. And that'll be really bullish to see, okay, for the market. we'll see how this plays out, guys. I think we might see some consolidation. We might see a bit more of a pullback. It's totally possible to see that here in the next week or two. But I think over the coming months, we're going to see more upside, right? I think longer term, we're going to see upside in this market, not new lows. I don't think we're going to see new lows, but I could be wrong, and I'm just the weatherman on the chart. So I do my best here, guys. That's all I can do. All right. And I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. We could end up making new lows. Debek, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the comment and the feedback. Appreciate that. So this major line right here, drawn on Tether, was the reversal that we got on the market, right? That's where I think we flipped, at least bullish for now, right? We're going to get this common retracement that after a big crash. So until we retake this level, or we start to see Tether break back above this range, it's tough for me to be really bearish on the market. I'm more bullish than bearish right now on the market. All right, so this is still a bear flag, right? You got the flag down and the consolidation, right? It's still just in this range, okay? And we can trade the ranges, right? So we know the 12-hour just gave us a sell signal. That could mean that it's actually done making these highs, and it's just making lower highs, right? And this could actually reject this support, right? And come back down to the lows. But the more rejections you get, the more lower highs you make, the more likely it is to test the support. And the more times you test the support, the more likely it is going to break the support. Yes, Toe, I also think we are going to break up, not down. Could you check link if possible? Sure, let's take a look at link. The link the other day was actually above this daily 200 moving average. It's now below it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's making lower highs here, okay? That's not something you want to see. But we'll see. It is from this low, it's been making higher lows here, okay? Let's see if you can hang on to these lows and maybe produce a break and a back test and get you out of this range. It really hasn't done too much during this whole downturn. It's just been range bound, okay? So Chainlink has just been consolidating and not doing too much. All right. And it didn't really do that big of a retracement. Lots of these assets did like 80% retracements. Chainlink did about a 38.2%, which is, if you're getting a bullish reversal, this is the area to do it, right? You get reversals. Let's see. So we take this off log scale and we actually just plot it normally. Let's see. All right, we did get the 886 retracement on Link. All right, beautiful. On the regular time scale, this does look like maybe some sort of harmonic structure. It could be a big harmonic. We'll see. It's not very clear though. That's the problem with it, and that's why I didn't really give a setup on it, because I don't really see a setup on it. I just see that it's in a consolidation in that range down there, and yeah, you can trade the ranges, man, for sure. But there's other assets doing definitely better things than Link, right? This is clearly the top of this range here, and this is the bottom of this range, and you're just ping-ponging in the range, all right? Okay, so if you do end up breaking the top of the range, you could see Link appreciate to the upside. Let's see. Yeah, probably up to about 1260 if it does break the top. China is buying, yeah, for sure. That is definitely a true statement. Toe. Yeah, I don't disagree. I think all the Chinese blockchains are going to rally this run. And yeah, we can check Neo out. It's been making moves. Again, a big. I'm gonna just disregard this blow off top here, but big range on Neo, right? So yeah, a move back up to like 25 bucks wouldn't shock me at all, right? On Neo, that's the median trend line here on the weekly chart. I'm disregarding this stuff up here because this was like the blow off top that we had in 2017, and you can see it literally came up to this last cycle and rejected it. So to me, this is good enough. Enough information for me to make a financial decision off of it. And yeah, a 50% retracement would take it to about 30 bucks, which is confluent with the median trend line. You can look at PIVX, sure. I haven't heard of this name in a long time. Privacy coin, right? Showing a bit of weekly bear div, man. Careful on this one. Monthly chart has lots of room to run though, man. Monthly looks okay. Monthly actually shows some bull div here, right? Yeah, you have to zoom out sometimes on these charts, man, because you can get caught up in the smaller time scales and you don't see the big picture, right? So the big picture actually looks pretty good. You're holding this support and kind of making higher lows here. You're in a major downsloping channel, which could be construed as a big bull flag. And maybe long term, if you do break this channel, you could see, could see 20 bucks again at some point. That could take years, though. It could take years. I don't really know what the demand is for this asset. But short term, maybe $2. Test the top of this neckline here over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, maybe. Nice. Ontology on the move also. Man, this thing is wrecked city. So yeah, I think this is gonna work in tandem with Neo, right? It's on the Neo blockchain. This is an identity type of coin. And look at that beautiful reversal it got right at the bottom of that trend line on the channel. Man, this coin could actually do something crazy this cycle. We'll see. Gabe's doing well, man. He's doing well. He's growing. He's getting bigger. His feeds are getting, he's taking more down on his feeds now. He's doing really well. All right. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream tonight. You guys are investing in yourselves and learning, and whenever I come on the stream, I'm always teaching myself also, and I'm trying to learn from my previous mistakes so I don't make them anymore, right? That's the whole point of these streams, is really to go through the momentum and look at what's happening on the chart. Longer time scales are going to really help you long term, right? Shorter time scales are going to give you those short term moves, right? So you really want to pay attention to, in my opinion, the long term, because that's what really matters, right? The short term doesn't matter as much, right? You're not going to get rich trading the daily chart, right? You could get rich trading a weekly or a monthly chart, right? Depending on your capital allocation, depending on what you're doing. And that's kind of what I'm trying to allude to. Lots of folks want to do short-term trading, and that's true, too. You always want to pay yourself. That's true. You want to always do that. Sure, we can take a look at Dusk IC and ICP. If you guys do appreciate what I do here, make sure you guys smash up the like button. Make sure you guys share the stream. I don't really ask for too much, man. I just do this. I enjoy it. I love teaching people how to chart and trade, and make sure you guys join the Discord. Obviously, we have all sorts of ways of trading this market, whether it be short-term trading, mid-term trading, or long-term swing trading. You guys should check it out if you guys are interested. If you guys are here listening to this shenanigans on the stream, you guys are probably into trading, so you guys should check it out. Debek, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Dusk and ICP. So Dusk putting in a nice monthly high or low here, right? We can see, just for all sakes and purposes, I'm going to cut off the top of that candle there because it is basically the top of that cycle, right? And yeah, you can see it overshot the channel. And it's it's almost a perfect respect, right? So you can see we got a reversal right here pretty close to the median line. We could see that Dusk might long term go back up to equilibrium, which is about 64 cents. If you are to break this range and we are to enter a massive bull market, we could see Dusk do some cool stuff, right? It could break the whole range, right? It could do that. We'll take a look at algo, sure. Yeah, so you break the top of the range, man. You're talking about the 1272 up to the 1618 fib extensions, right? Usually about half of this move is where swing traders start to take profit. So like $1.80 is totally reasonable and totally possible if we do break the top of the range at $1, all right? Based on the data we have, this is all I can really see, right? So that's all I really know. But yeah, you're looking at a monthly reversal here on momentum, right? Swing back up, okay? Monthly momentum is about to swing back up on this asset. Okay, we could consolidate here for a bit before we really see it blow up or blow off. And this to me looks like maybe a wedge break, right? This looks like a wedge break to me. Beautiful. That is a falling wedge breakout. Okay. Those usually break to the tops of the wedges. I rest my case. This one looks pretty good long term. Algorand and ICP. All right, we'll take a look at ICP first. This one is a big dog. We're trading it last cycle, and I never really got out of it. But yeah, monthly looks like it's reversing. Okay, beautiful stuff. If you're getting into ICP now, not a lot of chart data on this thing, so don't expect miracles out of me here. That's where it opened at $627. You have another level here that it consolidated for a bit at. Another level here that I consolidated for a bit at. So these would all be take profit levels. And it's holding this area here as a support. Okay, so you can see where your major levels are. This is a breakout region here at $10. I would say this is the plan for ICP. Okay, if you're in this coin, a break above 950 would mean a test of the 236 fib extension. That would mean you did put your bottom in. That's great. So yeah, you broke this trend line here. You got a nice break. And I would call this a channel that was broken. Okay, and now it's just chilling here. It's just sitting here. It might just consolidate for a bit and do a bunch of nothing before it tests up to $9.30. It could even do this. It could even, if Bitcoin breaks down, we could even come back down to test this level again and maybe get a nice bounce off of it, right? So that wouldn't shock me to see that. I would love a video where you show how to draw wedges and flags properly. Sure, I could do some content like that, or we could do like a private Zoom call or something. Or, I don't like to give away too much on YouTube, man, because although it's good, like I do these streams for you guys. I do coaching sessions if you guys want personal coaching to learn specific things. But yeah, I can think about maybe doing some more educational content on YouTube. I just have to be really careful about what I post and push out, right? So let's take a look at Algorand. All right, so for all sakes and purposes of drawing the channels here, we're gonna call this the top, right? And we're gonna call this the bottom. And what do you know? We're at the bottom of a range, a major range on Algorand. Okay, so again, you know, the top here, you're actually, you know, maybe rejecting this trend line right now, but this is also another, you know, falling wedge of type structure. You have, you know, multiple touch points along this structure here, and it really, you know, long term, it would make sense that this does break to the upside if Bitcoin breaks up, right? Remember, this is all contingent upon Bitcoin breaking up. We have a resistance at 28 that it's gotten stuck out here. You can clearly see we got a rejection off this area. And then this area right here at 36 cents, that looks like another region that there was this bearish consolidation before it broke down. That looks like another area there. And you have another area right here that once you got above, you got a major rally. So that's around that 50-cent region, which is pretty close to the monthly 21 exponential moving average. All right. And so I would say longer term for the wedges. All right. Longer term for the wedges, you guys know what happens. We eventually get to the top of the wedge, right? Maybe eventually, end of the cycle, we get up to 250. Okay. So lots to be seen here on the longer term time scales, and it's tough to be really a bear when assets are, you know, down 90+% from their all-time highs. But again, you know, not all assets are going to be treated equally, right? And the macro isn't so good, but this to me looks like hidden bullish divergence. You have a low, another low here, and a third low, but you're making a lower low on price, right? And we do have this monthly signal that's in. We haven't really crossed the trend line or the plane just yet on the monthly chart. So lots of room for this really to go up if it is going to go up. We'll see though, man. If we get rejected here, you get really strong rejections here, we could come back down and test the bottom of the range again. All right. Sometimes there's some bamboozling with these coins. And yeah, I mean, you did technically break here. Last week technically didn't engulf the whole candle, but we did see some selling pressure come in here on that 28-cent region and pulled back, right? So paying attention to this region here for Algorand is important. You know, we can clearly see that this is trading in this range, and we want to see it hold this range and consolidate before it maybe breaks up, right? All right, so that's really it for Algorand. I know I gave a long, drawn-out analysis here, but basically what it needs to do is needs to consolidate and hold this area as support before it tries to break back into this range up here. All right, and you know, our stochastics are kind of topping out here. We are seeing a bit of, you know, maybe overbought scenarios here for the stochastics, but not on the RSI. The RSI is not overbought, sitting neutral. We do have a bit of a weekly bearish divergence here. That's, you know, it may be playing out. We get that little bit of a pullback there the other day with Bitcoin and everything coming back down. So pay attention to this. We could see it come back down to test the bottom of that range that I just drew. And always look left in the chart. So if you look left in the chart, you can see on the weekly, we have some levels here to pay attention to. And we're below actually a level that we want it to be above, right? This level right here. Right around that 25-cent region. We're literally right at it, though. So, you know, it could really just push up. And here's another support level there that it actually wicked down to and touched, which is that 23.5 cent. 2536. Okay, well, you're not too far off then, man. You're like right at that, right? 2536. So you're technically in a profit then, 2536. Unless you're short. Are you short? Yeah, let's take a look at AXS. Sure, take a look at it. Monthly candle putting in a green one on HA, right? The first time we've seen that since the top, okay? So something to note. We have a monthly long signal that's in. We have longer time scales look like they could be maybe rounding out here. And this round out could just mean we go and revert back to the mean, which is the $25 level. We're still sitting around $9.90. So lots of movement there to be had if we do get it. This is all contingent upon Bitcoin making its move up. All right. Remember that, guys. The monthly chart looks pretty good. We got a nice bullish engulfing candle here, and this to me isn't bearishly engulfing this. This is actually just a pullback candle, right? Nothing to be concerned about, I would say. And you're just down sloping, consolidating here after getting rejected at that $14 region. And yeah, you're just sitting right on a support, man. This is right on a support for AXS, and you're sitting in this range, okay? This range right here. This is this little box. You can clearly see it as a support. Technically, it's in a downtrend, so technically some people might say this is a bear flag. I wouldn't necessarily deem it as a bear flag. I would just say it's consolidating here because we made this break. This big candle right here was a break, and you haven't taken out this low, this 930 low, right? So no, if you don't get candle body closes below $9.30, that means this is still valid, okay? So I would say it's holding this low, man. It's holding this low. Obviously making lower highs isn't necessarily a good thing. But if this is a bottom and this made a double potential bottom, you could be rallying up to the neckline, which is 1150, all right? 1011. Okay, you're not too far off, man. You're all right. Looks like you'd be okay if this does decide to push up here. The 8-hour chart is looking like you might see a rounding action, okay? And you might just get back up to like this 1030 to 1040 range and make a lower high, and it might reverse depending on how the equities market's open and all that fun stuff, okay? So just be patient. I think you might see a bit of a push up here, right? You're sitting on the 8-hour, you are technically sitting in bearish territory on the 8-hour, but you made this higher low on the price, right? And on the RSI. So this is where you want to be buying stuff, not selling stuff. Shorter time scale looks like a momentum shift back up. All right. Looks good, Toe. I think it'd be all right. All right, guys. If you guys need help with understanding about the stuff I'm talking about on charts, I'm open to doing some Zoom sessions with you guys. I do group sessions sometimes. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys message me. I'm down to do that this week. I do have some time. All right. But if that's all you guys want to look at tonight, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and the 12 people still on here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and staying on the stream. Make sure you guys smash it up, hit the like button, leave a comment for me, and we'll catch you guys next week. All right, you guys have a wonderful week. Yeah, when poker, I don't know, man. That game's kind of a waste of my time right now. I've just been focusing on my personal stuff. All right, man. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening, wonderful week, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time. See you guys next week, guys. All right.